Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is part 2 of the story of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him. Asiya was an honorable woman, a believer from a good family in Egypt, and the Pharaoh wanted to marry her. Her father did not want that to happen because the Pharaoh was a tyrant and a disbeliever. The Pharaoh started to threaten the family. The dad was unable to protect his family from this tyrant, so unfortunately Asiya had to marry him under the duress of the threat to destroy her family. Rightfully, she was very resentful toward him, but was able to hold on to her faith. Because of Asiya's strength of faith and her ability to hold on to it, despite being married to one of the worst tyrants that ever lived, she reached such a high status in the history of mankind. In fact, she is considered to be one of the 4 best and most honorable women that ever lived and have been promised paradise. Those 4 women are Mary, Prophet Jesus' mom, and we will cover her story when we talk about Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. Khadija, Prophet Muhammad's wife and his first believer. Fatima, Prophet Muhammad's daughter, and Asiya, the wife of the Pharaoh. Now, this Pharaoh continued his oppression toward Bani Israel. He took their money and enslaved them and used them for all kind of intense labor. He also established a caste system among the population. Top layer, middle layer, and Bani Israel were at the bottom. This caste system that he established is described in the Quran. Unfortunately, the population followed him, either hoping for a higher status in that caste system or out of fear of punishment. In Surah Al-Zukhruf, verse 54, it says that the Pharaoh took them lightly. He bluffed them. He didn't respect what they think, so they obeyed him. They were themselves corrupt disbelievers. You see, when the mind is corrupt to begin with, it becomes a fertile ground for accepting injustice and oppression. Had they actually stood up to him, he would not have been able to persist with this oppression and injustice. We can see that happening today. Tyrants behave that way and people rally behind them. And you will find the people who rally behind them one of 2 kinds. One is either they enjoy the privilege of that injustice or they are too weak to stand up for themselves. The Pharaoh went on to say to the people, "I am your exalted God." So the Egyptians actually started worshiping him. One day the Pharaoh saw a vision, a fire coming out of the Aqsa Mosque, and that fire burned down all homes in Egypt except for the homes of Bani Israel. The Pharaoh gathered his advisors and his magicians to interpret that dream for him. They said, "This dream is bad news. It's dangerous." They also said, "We have information that Bani Israel will destroy your governance system and your empire will collapse. And there will be one man who will lead them and help them to flee out of Egypt, and he will destroy you." This interpretation made the Pharaoh go crazy mad. He asked, "Is this man alive today?" They said, "No, he has not been born yet." He said, "Okay, this is easy then." And he ordered any male newborn to Bani Israel to be unalived right away. Now, Aaron, who is older than Moses, was already a young boy, so he was unharmed because their focus was in newborn male babies. They also started keeping track of the population of Bani Israel, especially the delivery of any new baby. They gathered all the midwives, the women that help with the delivery, and they ordered them to report all new deliveries from Bani Israel. Otherwise, they will face punishment themselves. So they started the practice of unaliving the new babies if they are male, and they leave the babies alone if they are girls. And this is the meaning of the verse that you will see in so many places in the Quran, that they slaughtered Bani Israel's boys and they kept their baby girls alive. So this was the time of the birth of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, and the environment that existed at the time. So how would a new baby boy from Bani Israel survive? We will see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped guide his mother and his sister to save Moses from getting unalived by the Pharaoh and his soldiers, inshallah, next time.